Well, the bed and breakfast area feeder has been up and running now for a number of months, and I'm getting a daily stream now of hogs coming in from the property to the west. There's a mother and 12 shoats, which is what we call the young pigs that have been weaned and that are able to exist for themselves, that are eating corn and coming to this feeder several times a day, according to the game cameras. Now, for about a week, I will see them in broad daylight, sometimes right after sunrise, right before sunset, and then sometimes right in the middle of the day. There are some very weird things that these pigs do. Inexplicable to me. I guess I'm going to have to figure out what exactly is going on here. I was horrified, thinking that one of the pigs had died, until I saw the rest of the video. I don't know, maybe he was getting ants cleaned off his belly or something by the others. Then he's got a scratch on my tripod. So, one evening about 10 minutes to 5, they're eating over here at the bed and breakfast feeder, and they can hear the other feeder go off and spin corn, and they decide to head over that direction to the feeder that I call Porky's Playground. Of course, what they didn't really know is that I had been looking at the game cameras and had gone out there and was getting set up to hunt them at the Porky's Playground feeder from the blind that my hunting buddy Ron and I had built last year. Sitting up on 8-foot legs, we have a great view of the turnip field and the Porky's Playground feeder. Now, the mother sow always sends the shoats out ahead to make sure that there's no loud bangs. That's awfully nice of her. And then she comes out and starts feeding as well. Now, the shoats are they're eating corn off the ground, but they're also going a little farther away from the feeder because I've planted this entire field with clover and turnips that will be available for them a little bit later on in the year to root up, and they'll be able to spend lots of time out there, about a half an acre of space that they can root around in. But in the meanwhile, the corn feeder gives them a daily ration of corn, and I occasionally go out there and dump some corn out into the impressions so that they'll have something to dig around in. I had decided I was going to shoot the mother and one of the shoats. The reason for that is that if you shoot the shoat and leave the mother, she is smart enough to figure out that she should never come back to this clearing again, and that'll be the last you see of her. By shooting the mother, the shoats know that this is a place to come for food, and so they'll keep coming back here even without the mother. I brought my Ruger Super Red Hawk with the scope revolver down here with me just to make sure she was in fact dead, and she was. I always like to have a one shot, one kill, have it all over quickly with no suffering. But I thought I had shot one of the shoats as well, so I had to go look around and make sure that I had indeed completely missed. From this camera angle, you're able to see the dirt pop up, but from up there in the blind, it looked like I might have hit the shoat, but there was nothing else out here. And so then I had to figure out how I was going to transport this back to the cabin. So I got my little trusty Gorilla dumper cart and picked her up and heaved her in there. Figured she weighed about 60 pounds or so. But I did want to make sure one last time that there were no pigs left out there hiding in the bushes. and that they had in fact all taken off running. So what I didn't really realize is that when they left this area, they went right back over to the bed and breakfast feeder and continued eating the corn that that feeder had spun in the meanwhile. Proving to me that they are capable of independently going on and eating and finding food and things even without the mother present. In fact, the next morning, the game camera captured this. They came right back out to the Porky's playground feeder, where just the night before they had heard a loud bang and the mother had disappeared. But they're now capable of living on their own and getting food, and they now have 2 feeders that I'm keeping stocked regularly. So without a lot of hunting pressure on them, they'll be going back and forth between those 2 feeders and providing us with further hunting opportunities over the next little while. Which would not have happened if I had just shot one of the shoats and had left the mother, because then she would have decided that this was a bad place and they might not have ever come back here. So with the intelligence of the group now gone, they will be coming back quite a bit over the next few months and years.